Welcome to the best hour of their day podcast with your hosts, Jason Fernandez
and me, Jason Ackerman. With more than 20 years in the business,
as both coaches and affiliate owners,
our passion is to help create world-class affiliates
and coaches by building
better boxes. Welcome to
the best hour of your day.
Whoa, you see
I
that
like
new
they always
intro?
surprise us with the new intro. They see the team doesn't even tell us what's happening here, Austin. They just get shit done.
New intro?
I mean, that was legit. I mean, yeah. I mean, when Ackerman started talking, I did smirk a little bit, but other than that, it was great.
Good job, Nate. Good job, Cody. I saw a little
Oh, well
Pat
done,
Barber
Nate.
on there, one of the
Yep.
newest members of the Best Hour team. Cody, speaking of Pat Barber, big announcement coming at sometime soon. Is that
That's
actually
not a
time?
statement, but yes, you guys are going to want to pay attention. Week of the games, cool stuff happening.
What was that? What did you just hold up? You held up one of these.
It's yep,
Yeah, that's shout out
caffeine and kilos.
Caffeine and Kilos, yeah.
But yeah, the some really cool stuff going to be launching at the games. We will be there. We will be everywhere. We'll be annoying Austin. We'll be kind of just following him around at the games, just seeing what he's doing and asking.
Dave has his girls. Austin has his guys.
He has us. That's right.
We will follow. What are we doing here? What's going on?
Yeah.
There's three.
Chill,
We doing
chill out,
three-way here?
Cody. Chill out, Cody.
Relax. Austin does look like my sophomore year in college history professor. Yes, Corey.
Yeah, I didn't realize that this was a collared shirt event.
Yeah. I wore my fancy shirt.
Yeah, I had a meeting where I wanted to wear a collared shirt, and in fairness, I wore one yesterday, and my wife was like, "Wow, that shirt looks good." So I just decided to keep it going. Very rarely do I get a compliment from the boss, so I just figured 2 days in a row would be a win. So really, it was just looking for that 2 days of affirmation.
Day two, she was like, "Calm down, calm
Too
down,
much.
too much."
Too much
Yeah,
of the color.
which is classic, which is very common.
Odd, yeah. Odd. We will be at the games. We got a lot going on. We'll be the affiliate coaching some classes. We got 3 lectures happening. We're going to be hanging out at some of the bigger gatherings. So we got a lot of stuff.
We'll be in the affiliate lounge. We'll be doing some activations. We'll be recording a ton of podcasts. We'll be dropping into some affiliates. We will not be judging. So
Judging.
if the quality of judging goes down this year, we apologize. That's
really. Hiller, we're scared of Hiller. He's his eye out there. We'll be judging humans though. We'll be judging people.
I'm always judging people. But yeah.
All right, let's teach me. Hey, before we get into the serious stuff, Austin, you been coaching at all?
Coach, no. This is probably. I mean, this is the longest that I have not been actively coaching in my goodness. I mean, since I started coaching, since I started really training in general.
You think you would pass the new L4?
I mean, when I took the level 4 and like its very first beta test, I remember it vividly because it was even more, I think, aggressive than it is now. There was like, I had 10 raters and they all were mic'd up and I was mic'd up. Like I couldn't breathe and they wouldn't hear it. But yeah, I would have to dust it off, like anything, it's kind of like riding a bike. You got to get back onto it. But, it's, I wouldn't want to go in cold. And I also don't want to disrespect those that, it's like you have to grease the groove a little bit. Right. And I'm definitely, at best rusty for sure. Right. And I think a lot of it is, I think the technical stuff you don't really lose, but a lot of it is just being used to watching human movement, being used to the interactions, the nuances, the best coaches, specifically in a level 4, you're able to, you have the emotional intelligence that allows you to act and adapt so quickly and understand, which allows you to scale, react, coach a little better. Those things obviously are out of practice. So those are the things that I would really want to hone. So it would take me a little bit of time just to be able to feel confident in that ability.
It's like, I would imagine, like you hear about it, like if you watch the UFC or boxing, like ring rust. It's probably that, right? Like it's
just
like
a step slow.
Yeah, you're slow. You were saying that when we were chatting at the mastermind, Fern. It was like You're just a half second slower than usual. Fern was gonna take it.
The game becomes like, how slow is your half step slow, right? That's really the game, which is like, I would be confident, Austin, that you would have a really good shot even if you were slow. That even that level of slow for you, just due to the number of classes you've taught, like how many affiliates you've been in, there's just certain things you don't lose. And even if you were a step slow, I would imagine that would be sorted out probably halfway through the class. You'd be like, okay, now I'm back. This feels normal again. So
you're still training?
We're supposed to do our level 4 and we had to reschedule. There was a snafu. So
AKA Fern wasn't ready.
Oh yeah. Right.
I was gonna go cold. I was gonna say, hey, it is what it is.
Fern, I mean, Austin, you still training 5 a.m. every day?
Yep. Training 5 a.m. every day. Yeah. In the house. So yeah, up around 4:20, and then I train at 5. But I mean, by no means is it anything to write home about. I'm usually done by 5:30 every day for the most
30
part.
minutes, like in and out, 30? You still meeting up with Paul and who was it, Craig? Was it?
Yeah, Paul Tremblay and Craig Kenny. Yeah, we Zoom almost every day, give or take, depending on travel schedules. But yeah, we still do that. I mean, that's, quite frankly, probably the biggest pull is like, hey, it's just what we do, right? So we wake up and we do that. And the biggest thing for me specifically in the shift is I used to be able to just train throughout the day and whatever it might be, but now very rarely do I get a second session in. And when, because by the time work's over and then Haley gets home, my daughter, I don't want to take away that time. And then, by 8 o'clock, my goodness, I really tip my hat to those individuals that train at 8 o'clock at night. That to me is like it's something I literally don't understand. So anyone that does that, like, I admire their ability to do that. And then like wake up the next day, like, and just like, have a normal morning. Like for me, it's like, it's a moment.
Well, those people that are training at 8 are not getting up at 4:20 the next day. That's incredible that you get up that early. What time are you in bed? You're in bed by 8:30, right?
No, I try to be asleep by 10.
Oh, so you're only getting 6 hours.
That's where that gray hair comes from.
That is where
that's right.
Okay. Yeah. Before Fern gets into the heart, first of all, Audrey in our chat thinks you're waking up at 4:20 and doing a little wake and bake. Is that true?
Oh, it's not. No, it's the real truth about it is it was always 4:30, and then I was, of course, I went through a phase where I wanted to see like what was the optimal time I could wake up and still feel good. So I actually, very, very nerdy, I pushed back my wake up time by a minute, like over the course of 6 months, and to test my mood. And I just stopped, I got down to 4:20. I was like, I don't feel like I need to wake up much earlier because I can do what I need to do in the morning before I train. So it was, that's the real truth.
That's a really good goal, or not goal, but way to do it. Too many people are like, I'm going to start doing the 5 a.m. club. And they're like waking up at 3 hours earlier than they're used to versus like, let me just push it back 5 minutes today, another 5 minutes next week. Well, I know you've been doing that for quite some time, but before Fern gets into the real questions, we got the professor on here. So let's do it. But my question to you, 2010, you're 6th place at the CrossFit Games, correct?
Where the fuck are you going with this?
Let me go with it real quick, and then you can take over real quick. See, but he's very controlling.
If you guys can't see Cody in the background, but he's ramming his face into the desk.
I do it mostly for that. No, I've got a real question. This is going to lead into all your stuff. 2010, Austin, 6th place. We could throw out there, should have been 3rd place. There's a snafu on the rig, the rack, all that, 13 years ago. It's all good. You were a 10. Say your fitness level was a 10. It was optimal. Now you're waking up at 4:20, 6 hours of sleep, once a day, kid. 1 to 10, where's your fitness?
Well, according to the grading system on CrossFit.com, I think I'm at 8.
That's the point. Like,
yeah,
that excessive fitness was hours of your day. It was,
and that's a relative 8, by the way. We should bring that up.
Right? Yeah, that's an 8 relative to Austin Malleolo, one of the fittest human beings on the planet. That's an 11 on the Ackerman scale. Potentially
it's
as
like
well.
It's like 15. It's like 15.
But my point is, look, and that's what I was just talking to my buddy earlier today. He's not a CrossFitter, total respect for it, but he's like, man, the games is telling people they need to do all this stuff. And I'm like, that is it, right? Like that's one of the disconnects. 30 minutes a day at 5 a.m. via Zoom with his buddies. And this guy's still fitter than all you watching, right? Now it's an outlier. Austin was one of the fittest in the world. But the point is, it's like, that's all you need. That's the beauty of CrossFit. So good stuff, Austin. All right, Fern, back to you.
And by the way, in no way, shape, or form was that a lead-in to anything that we were going to talk about. I just do want to bring that up.
Sometimes I start talking and I don't know where it's going. And...
Yeah. No, but the speaking. Well, I guess speaking of the games, but I'm going to do that. That's not Jay didn't set that up. The
lead in. That's called.
Often the Jay will just lose track, and sometimes it just works out. But Austin, you'll be at the games, obviously.
Yes, I will. Yep.
What are do you have any official duties at the games, or is it just to be there doing the gym lead thing?
Yes. So I think so. I mean, overall, what my team and what we're working on is really the overall experience. So I think one of our biggest goals at the games this year, so this is non-competition, right? So I think this is
nobody cares.
Yeah. This is, you have competition, great, but then you have the goal for us is to have a more unified experience for whether it's coaches, affiliate owners, and just participants, and no different than when we think about CrossFit. We'll have the affiliate, which will be a unique experience that you guys are going to be coaching at, if I'm not mistaken. Where it'll be for credential holders. It'll be much more like an affiliate experience, just like we had last year, which is pretty awesome. A little more intimate, much more class focused. And we'll have the demo stage where, but it'll be a little more interconnected as well, where, and connected to where we want to go and what we want to do. And as well, and then the spectator workout area is going to be a little less. That'll be more like just like a fun workout area as well for those. But we're going to try to stick to the predominant amount of that time, where whether it's in the demo stage or it's in the affiliate. So I'll kind of be helping manage that process, and just we obviously have a phenomenal team that's going to be leading all that. You guys are there, but the goal success is for specifically our affiliate owners and our coaches to have it's fun, right? It's an experience, right? To be able to have that opportunity, but also have an opportunity to get a little better, to learn something, to push a little further in whatever direction they might want to, and for us to deepen that connection with our affiliate owners, with our coaches, and then it's often, I think we take it for granted, but it's a moment to inspire those that are on the periphery, right? Where the games is a special moment, and people get brought to the games. Sometimes they're voluntold, right, to come. But the beauty of that is, I think it's some of the best that our community has to offer is that at the games. Obviously we showcase amazing athletes, but then you just look around, you have the amazing community, the coaches, all of that happening. So that's really that sort of indirect goal there as well.
Do you guys have any so for anybody that didn't go last year, I thought last year was the best integration, because like there's always been this point of contention of the games and the affiliates, and those two things don't mesh and overlap. Last year I thought was the best integration or best attempt to mesh those two together by far. So if anybody is going this year, you should definitely try, and you're an affiliate owner or you get the opportunity to go in the affiliate, you should go for sure. Do you guys have any specific activations or anything that you'll kind of be launching at the games by chance? Or anything you can talk about, I guess?
Well, I think so yes, in some sense, but not, and I'm sure I don't want to sell the farm and say things I'm not supposed to say. I always get nervous about that.
Do it.
I know.
Breaking news, Cody. Play the sound. Play it.
Yeah. No, but I think if I were to say, like, I think one of our goals, you have been a part of this. You've been a part of the summits for the first, 6 months of this year in the United States. And I think one of our big goals is to, really unify our affiliates around, becoming better. Right? Even you think about that, your intro, which was really impressive, to this podcast, a lot of those things that were said there is very congruent with what we are trying to do at HQ and really become, a partner and in the journey of owning a business and running an affiliate. And what does that look like? What is success for an affiliate? You guys know this better than most, and because it's your business where you work day after day with affiliates that are saying, "Hey, I need some help," and you're able to shepherd that journey, and you're able to really not only impact the affiliate and the members, but change that affiliate owners and their coaches' lives, right? And that's really one of the big themes that we're going to be spending some time on at the games is how do we, for affiliates that are there. And then also capturing that content, making sure that we can distribute that message to those that are not there. But it is a unique time where we have a lot of people there, thought leaders, coaches, business experts, and we want to be able to share that. So I think over in the past, we've been very broad of like, hey, we're here, chest bump, high five, the games are awesome. Success for me is, affiliates leaving there, they have a pathway. We can act, giving them routes to, hey, here's some ways that we can start to actually get a little better. What is success? What are we trying to achieve? What are our goals? Us being super transparent about where we want to be, in the back half of this year, what we're going to expect. Expectation management is really important. I think that we're going to, really, we do want to expect more of our affiliates from a quality perspective, from how we run our business perspective, and that we have a responsibility at CrossFit, and our affiliates have a responsibility, like any relationship, right? It's mutual.
Right.
So that's the theme that we want to, that a lot, really everything that we are doing kind of leading to that, which is not going to be a surprise to you guys. You've been at these summits, you've heard the tonality of like, how do we get better? And what are the expectations, and where have we been providing value in certain ways, and how do we make that more data driven and more specific to actually help our affiliates run a stronger business, increase their revenue, so then they can expand and do more of what they love, and which is coach CrossFit.
So with that, so obviously you have like Vendor Village, you guys are going to be doing all sorts of stuff in there. So I won't be giving away anything specific, so this doesn't matter, but there will be events in the affiliate lounge. There'll be stuff in the affiliate. There'll be activations in Vendor Village. There'll be kind of not offsite stuff, but thing that's not in Vendor Village, workout areas that people can participate. Right. So there will be no shortage of stuff. Ollie just sent us some of the schedule because we were trying to get locked in for different like workshops and stuff. And I think we have at least 3 days of specific time slots for like specific workshops that we will be doing there at the game. So come see us, affiliate owners. Are there any new partnerships in the APN? Obviously the big one that we named recently was Jocko, but are there any other thing or any other notable ones? Is Jocko going to be kind of walking around just telling everybody good while he's there or anything like that?
And if so, are you going to tell him you get up at 4:20?
Yeah.
4:30 is for...
It's for losers.
The week. It's for the week.
Yeah, I'll leave with that. Yeah, I think he's probably going to be there. Yeah. So if you're cool. Like now, and knowing him, yeah, he's probably going to be up at 3 a.m. making us work out. So, honestly, I'd have to. Yes, there are a few partnerships that but I don't know if they're like. Hopefully, by the games, we'll have some of them announced, and there's a few I think that are pretty exciting. One of which kind of directly ties to like affiliates and incorporating to a bigger network, really, and pull back from the APN. I think Jocko's obviously, I think, a really good one because of it's an endemic brand. We're aware of it, and it's very, it's cool. But a lot of what we want, and that's also a brand deal, like where it's across the whole, they're a game sponsor, and there's obvious they're in the APN, but a lot of some of the, you could say, smaller APN deals that maybe are more affiliate specific are really focused on the business, how we can drive more members, drive more revenue, be more operationally efficient, that type of stuff. So by the games, we should have a couple probably before. I know that and keep an eye on our affiliate newsletter. I know they have like a drip of trying to announce some partnerships leading up to the games because a lot of them sign for the games. So there's sort of this nice drip of those. There's one where we're trying to work with a company that leverages like reimbursements for healthcare. So that would be type good. Of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are some things that we're trying. That's it. And the hurdle on those things are is making sure that we can logistically roll it out and our affiliates can lean into it. So that's oftentimes what we spend a lot of cycles on of, hey, concept's great. How does this has to work at the operational floor for our affiliates?
Can I chime in? So this has always been my beef with all of those programs. Like, they are administrative nightmares, and it sounds good on paper. And then you find out, oh, I didn't even understand. I, as the affiliate owner, was ignorant on how this works, and maybe I didn't negotiate a good price with this company. So all I really did was offer a 20% discount on my offering. So I actually get screwed on the deal. And that's always been a pet peeve of mine, because some of these companies will oversell and underdeliver on how that transaction works, and it gets a little murky until you come out the other end and you're like, oh wait, this actually isn't that great of a deal, and you guys don't really do that much for me with regard to marketing or anything like that.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good example of, and I think that, like, from a message to, like, that's what we spend a lot of time on internally to make sure that, and that's quite frankly why, like, often it's like, why don't you have more opportunities or deals? Well, we actually, we don't do many of them because, quite frankly, they're usually not
good deals.
Great. Yeah. Or, there's like, we can't force or require certain things because of the nature of the model. So, so that's also why it takes time. And for us, we don't want to put something in front of affiliates. We have made mistakes in the past. That's not super compelling. So I think we have a few in the pipeline that are, interesting. And also the challenge as well is, nothing is ever global, right? So, and you got to remember that we're a global company. So, making sure we balance, like, we have launched a few, like, smaller partnerships, in Europe and in places like that, just because, a lot of brands are either US centric, or if they are global, it's the benefit to the affiliate owner might not be realized because of shipping or customs and things like that. So that's sort of in the weeds, but those are a lot of things the team internally works on to make sure that if we're going to partner with someone on behalf of the affiliates, it actually is worth the while.
Right. Speaking of that, we were chatting. We're going to do, meaning Best Hour. Jay will probably have nothing to do with it other than just show up to the podcast. But I have ideas on potential alternative affiliate model variations that could cater to the international community. So we're just going to float it. And if you guys like it, steal it. But I do think there's some solutions there. I've been kind of batting around quite a few ideas with that, but I do think there's an opportunity to serve a lot of those different communities and make it an appropriate business transaction for both parties, because I think it does need to be a win-win for sure. And that's what I think most people don't understand. It's got to work both directions.
Right.
That being said, outside of that, are there anything? So you've kind of, obviously, I don't want you to speak for whoever's in charge of there, but are there any initiatives or goals that you guys have for affiliates specifically that you can speak to, or is most of the stuff going to stay pretty tight-lipped until the games?
Oh, so I think, I'd like to lean on the games as an opportunity to really polish our message, but I think a few things that, as we look from an affiliate perspective and where we're going, I think the underlying theme and tone is, here, let me rephrase it. If I were to ask both of you, right, and this is an honest question, and you're not going to hurt my feelings by your response. If one of your friends or family member were to ask you, hey, I'm going to start CrossFit, would you just blindly go up to say, cool, go to the affiliate map and find the affiliate and go there? Would you do that? Or
no.
So you would not? What would you do?
Well, I would tell them
go
to the affiliate map and find, like, the 5 closest to you, and then I would
send them to me. Yes.
Yeah, and then I would look into them.
Okay, so put another way, do you have trust to send someone in your family to any affiliate in the world without vetting blindly?
I do. I have trust to do that, but I would also prefer to send them to the right one. But I would tell them, like, any CrossFit is better than a non-CrossFit.
What would you look for?
Assuming
What do you look for?
location was like equal, right? And they're going to get to it consistently. I would look at their coaching staff. I would see like, do they have a level 2, a level 3, a level 4 on staff?
That's right.
I would look at their schedule, look at the programming they're doing.
That's right.
Most of those. Anything else I'm missing there, Fern? I mean, the usual stuff.
I mean, the usual stuff. I think where you're getting at here, Austin, is something similar to what we just launched, which is like how are we essentially credentialing gyms to say like this is a good gym and this is a gym that's still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and I think even what you said in the very beginning is, I think, really important, is that we need to really lean on expectations of making sure that the level 1 is not enough in your continuing education journey. It's the entry point, it's the start, and where we are going to have an expectation of a level 2 for affiliate owners, and that will also potentially mean that it's it's somewhat wrapped into the affiliate agreement as well, and there might be a change in that relationship because of expectation management. Because to your point, yeah, we're going to go and you're going to check out the level of coaching, and there's not a person I haven't talked to that said, well, of course, a level 2 is the best coaching course, from that sense of like, you got to take your level 2, right? And it can't stop there. But what we don't want to see is the level 1 be the end state of that coaching journey.
I think I was literally jotting this whole thing down. So you don't know this, Austin, but like we recently just solidified and did a bunch of stuff. So like we now have a level system within like the affiliates that we work with: level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Obviously, level 4 is extremely difficult to get to. Like I would not qualify. I intentionally created it something that I would not qualify for right now, and we run a successful gym. But I was thinking about this, like, how do you get everybody to kind of get along? And there's kind of 2 approaches, I guess. One would be to punish the subpar performers. That's one option. I think the more effective option is to, honey, not vinegar, which is like provide things and put people forward that are doing well, so that everybody else essentially gets FOMO and peer pressure takes over. And because nobody wants to be the turd. Right. But what we have to do is we have to put the high performers forward. We have to make things available to them that you can only get if you're doing well. And yes, that might widen the gap in some scenarios, but that's kind of the whole game, right? Like you earn those things, right? So it's not necessarily unfair to people who get them. It's more as like, it is fair to people who have put in the work and achieved things that are that we know that they can manage, be it tools or access to certain people. And really, that's what I think it would be a very interesting, which is you do need to have some filters in there for people who like, listen, you guys need to have this for sure. So we can have some sort of basic quality controls. But after that, it's like, yo, let's go reward and highlight and showcase the people that are smashing, so that everybody else just basically just gets in line. And they're like, well, I want to be like that. That would be way better than what I currently have going on. So that would be my kind of vision, if you will, or like my strategy, Mac one time, not that you gave it to me, but.
Well, yeah. And everything you said, yes, one, it's a balance of expectation, right? And the expectation, and because there's this notion of incentive and enforcement, right? Here's a good example. I have my level 4. So what does that mean? Same as your level 3. Every 3 years you have to re-up 50 CEUs, right? Same as so. And of course, I'm sure all of us fall into the same boat. Come your renew year, you scramble a little bit to get more of your CEUs, right? You're like, oh gosh, I got to get more CEUs, right?
I just renewed mine yesterday.
Yeah, right. Like as a good example, and I'm talking to a group of people that care, that obviously cares about education, continuing education, but a forcing function is very important for everyone, right? And that's and so there's that, and the CEU model is a really simple example of that. And then you look at any other profession out there, like nursing and all these other things. In order for you to have your job, you need to maintain a certain credential. Now we have that, right? But we need to have a little more of enforcement because of that visibility, right? Like if you don't have the proper credentials to a nurse, you literally can't work, right?
Right.
Now, so when it comes to this stuff, and then from there, how do we reward those that are doing something special? And this is something that we're, a lot of this is for us. We're starting to become really data driven on, what are our top performing gyms doing, and what do they look like? And we're starting to pull that together. It's pretty interesting, and a lot of correlations of what you would expect of gyms that are doing very well economically. Their revenue and their earnings are very high. What is their education level? What and again, it's not a secret what we see there, and so this is really the path forward for us, where because we know that one, better CrossFit gyms allow for a stronger ecosystem, and it's better for all of us, and we all aware of that, but then from there, you talk, hey, do you know a gym that needs to be better, right? And we all probably say yes. So we at CrossFit play a role in that, as well as that affiliate owner as well, right? It needs to be a shared success relationship, right? Where the better you do, the better we do, and we all work together. And that's really what's driving us forward. Our affiliate map, which is pretty exciting, we're spending a lot of time on revamping, so we can highlight our gyms that have high credentials. Because if all of you guys know, as affiliate owners, you can put in your managers and your coaches. You have to, and that obviously pulls in your credentials. And then from there, right, it's going to be an easy way for us to direct traffic to, and highlight those that have, to your point, Jason, the higher credentials when you're searching. And then also it's something we're going to be doing to drive leads to, that new map, and you'll be able to track that type of stuff. So these are some of the exciting things that we are working on. You've heard me talk about this at summits before. So it's to your point of, there'll be this level of expectation, but there's this level of also, we want to make sure that we're able to highlight those that have put in that effort and time.
I'm curious how the affiliate map is essentially like a central search hub. I'm curious how that would balance out, or can CrossFit drive? I don't know how you would do it. I know nothing about the internet, but obviously Google is just an organic Google search is how most people will find a CrossFit affiliate. Yep. So I don't know if CrossFit has an impact on that, but like, could CrossFit give me kudos in that process? That would actually be, because what I don't think is realistic is that me in Virginia Beach relying on CrossFit HQ, CrossFit.com to push people towards my gym, because they're just going to go and they're going to be like, CrossFit's near me, and that's a geo fence essentially based on search and your location services on your phone.
Yeah, and so I get this a lot. So, and there are two ways to drive traffic, right? And so what you're articulating is, no, we don't want to replace Google ever. They do a good job, but we do need to educate our affiliates on how to properly set your website up for SEO and SEM. We're running a test right now to be able to basically give you a template on how to leverage the CrossFit IP to make sure that you're utilizing it, and we'll actually be able to draw the value of that. We know that the best value of being an affiliate is having the name. Right. CrossFit near me is one of the most searched terms, as you simply articulated there, but that needs to then drive to your gym. And you need to be really crafty about how you set your website up to optimize the crawlers and all of those things. I won't get into that. We have people working on that, but what we need to do is say, hey, use this website template and it will work. Because that's basic, I say basic, it's way beyond my skill set, but this is something that, we can leverage and it's really important. But the second piece of that is where we drive traffic. So the one thing that you said is that we need to be responsible for driving new traffic. And this is going to be in our new relationship as we shift forward of. So right now we spend what we've done is reclaimed a lot of space on Google by doing paid marketing, targeted, those types of things. A good example is, I think it was like a lot of people were searching how to deadlift, right? We should own that, right? We were on the 4th page. Now we're on the 1st page, as an example. 4th page, you're basically, non-existent. 2nd page, you're non-existent. The 1st page is,
you guys are trying to be in the 3-pack for basically all of those terms.
Yes, that's a simple example of some
Yeah.
work that we've done. So additionally, where right now we send to 2 places. Like for anytime we do paid marketing, anytime you see it, like we have a What is CrossFit page, which is for the new user, or find a gym. So anytime that we have a lot of media efforts, and right now with our current map, we can't track it, and that's what the new map is. But in the future, we drive all of our traffic wherever it might be. Like let's say the games, we have a lot of eyeballs, the open, those types of things. Find a gym. That's where we direct people. That's why the map is so important, because it allows us to direct. It's in any marketing. What's your CTA? Right? You guys
Right.
know this, right? What's your
Yeah.
call to action?
Yep.
Now for you guys, it might be to your website to book a call, whatever it might be. Now for us, 2 goals. We want more people CrossFitting. So if you're like, I don't know what this is, I'm going to go find out what CrossFit is. I want to find a gym. Those are the 2 places we go. And then even in the What is CrossFit page, we talk about what affiliates are, and then you can obviously go to that journey. So that's where we're spending a lot of our time on. And so it's not to replace the organic search of, hey, when I'm in town, CrossFit near me, right? But we need to arm you with a different tool to make sure that you're getting those people. But then from there, any traffic that we drive to the map, and then we'll actually be able to, you'll know when it comes from us. That's going to be the new functionality, which is really exciting.
That is cool. I'd be curious.
That's
On
very
that. This actually brings up a good point. So Matt Burns in here has a he meant I think this he must say conversations. Is there any conversations on opening? I'm assuming he's asking like, hey, is there any conversations about essentially like location restrictions? Because yes, we want 1 million CrossFit gyms, but I have seen scenarios. I don't think it's as frequent as everybody thinks, but I have seen scenarios where like you putting a second gym there is actually terrible for both of you.
Yeah. So, yeah. First off, I don't think we want to open up 1 million CrossFit gyms. But yes, more is
2
better
million.
for
Sorry,
the
2
ecosystem,
million.
as we know. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. But to this point, so Matt specifically is yes, absolutely conversations. And it's funny. I was talking to the team about this today, about how to do it, and what's the right way to approach, and a lot of it, and for a lot of things, it's you're kind of looking forward, because for some gyms it might be, in some areas it might be something that you want compared to others. How do we incentivize those that want to do it? So we're really thinking about this effectively, but also to this point, I think there's two types of this. Location control can be business. It can be very good for your business if you want to, right? But then the second aspect of that is us being a little more aware of where and why we're opening. So currently, we've never done location control. So to that point, honestly, for how many gyms we have, I think it's pretty amazing, right? In the fact that like there are a few, I'm sure a handful out there that I've heard that are less than ideal, right? But with that said, the market has, overwhelmingly handled itself well. I mean, gosh, where I am, there's in my town a gym on the same road a mile apart, right? Literally same road, and they're both successful, right? As an example, but I've heard stories of similar that it has, to your point, maybe not been as beneficial for both businesses. I think the root cause of this comes in and how we handle with new gyms and transfer gyms and educating in how you opening a business. Right? Again, this is something that probably speaks true to you. Absolutely, Seth. It's location control is population density. It's going to be very different, say like in Paris, as opposed to
Right.
even
West
where
Virginia.
I am, which is the suburbs. So, and that's an easy calculation. But what's more important is the education of where you're opening up your business and why, and really understanding and doing your market analysis. We're spending some time on actually being able to arm potentially new affiliates with these tools of market saturation and things like that. Things that I know, like when I opened up my gyms, spent a lot of time on. I mapped out every gym in the area, CrossFit gym, non-CrossFit gym. I spoke with investors in the area of where different places where they're going to be spending money. Spent a lot of time on that. There are tools now that can make it a lot easier than you just hitting the beat and talking to people. But That's the
But
root
you
cause.
want to make some, you want to know some, like you want to know car counts, you want to know mean incomes,
That's
you
right.
want to know,
That's right.
you know, what are rent and property value trends over the past 5 or 6 years. You want to know all that stuff, and you should for sure. The number of people that come in like, I'm thinking I'm going to rent a building, and I'm like, you should stop what you're doing immediately and find help.
Right.
So
a lot of that is, you know, we're already starting that thought process with the starter kit, right? So, you know, the starter kit that gets you starts to think about location and all of those things. So, and we're going to dive deeper into that. So, long answer, you know, for you there, Matt. But hopefully that was, you know, we're spending a lot of time in cycles on that, for sure.
another question we had, not in this chat, but we had sent out before was, where's it at? What would you suggest to level up the overall level of coaching across all affiliates? That is a big question. So feel free to bounce around there as much as you like.
It's a great question. So I think, you know, being blunt about it, requirement of a level 2 after a certain amount of time of being open. Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, level 1, you know, is a phenomenal entry point. Changed my life, changed everyone on here. But it's the starting point. What we need to do is create a roadmap for coaches and owners, and it starts with the owners. So now we have a huge ecosystem of coaches. We have a smaller ecosystem of affiliate owners, right? So, and you guys talk a lot about leadership, right? And you talk about leadership in the affiliate, and I'm sure you do in your sessions. And something I've always been a believer in is you have an advocate in Candy. Yeah, you have to lead from the front.
It's true, Candy.
Right?
Everybody
So
should.
here's a good example. When I was running my gyms, when the level 3 came out, and I think I've told the story to maybe one of you, is that I said I got my level 3 because we were beta testing it when it first came out. So took it, got it, and then when it came out, I said to my whole staff by the end of the year, it was the beginning of the year, I said everyone has to get their level 3 or you're fired. Right? Maybe that was a little aggressive.
Sounds like good leadership.
Yeah. And of course, I didn't fire them if they didn't pass it, but they all applied and they all took it. Not all passed, of course. All eventually did. And two of the 3 people that went through that process, actually, because they applied and passed, I'll never forget this. One of them wanted to apply for seminar staff. And it was back in the day when regionals were at Reebok. So I remember Dave was there, and I was like, well, go ask him. You know, he's here. And, you know, shoot, you know, might as well, right? What he says, no, right?
Shoot your shot.
And he walked up to him, he goes, hey, I want to apply for staff. He goes, and the level 3 had literally just come out, like maybe, like not.
This is Connor,
a
no?
month or two. It is, yes, it's Connor's story. And he goes, great, get your level 3, then you can apply. And Connor goes, I got it, I'm passed. And for those of you that don't know Dave, a man of his word, he gave him an internship right there. And I say that because that's a simple example of the opportunities that that arise when you start to follow that pathway. Now, did that level 3 make him a better trainer? Arguably, no. In the moment, right? You know, I've never seen anyone get worse from taking a level 3 because they study, they learn. But there are
It's the pursuit of gaining knowledge is what it is. It's not like your diploma doesn't mean much. It's like, but what did you learn in school is the question, right? So like I think so like for the level 3, like in our tiered system, and having a level 3 is required to be a level 3 gym. It's not the only requirement, but I believe that if you're going to be an affiliate owner, I think you should have a firm grasp of the methodology. And I think the level 3 is a perfect litmus test for that. Not perfect. It is a very, very strong litmus test for that. Now, does that mean that you run a good gym? No, that's why it's not the only metric that we use when we evaluate somebody for that. I also think, and I talked to quite a few people about this with regard to like up leveling coaches throughout the community. So the question becomes like, hey, what is the benefit of a level 3 or level 4 or whatever the higher credential is? Ideally, in a market, it would be the same as everywhere else. Like, what is the benefit of a master's degree? Oh, you make more money. Okay. Well, there's a couple things that have to happen there. If I want this to be we can use the level 4 because the level 4 is an easier kind of one to unpack, oddly enough. What is the benefit of being a level 4? Well, if you could make a system where by achieving a level 4, you now would go into essentially a pool of coaches that could get farmed out to be sent to any affiliate to do coaches development. There now exists an opportunity for me to make a living being a professional coach. And I would start with all the red shirts. I would be farming them out weekly to any gym within a certain radius. As people get into the level 4, that pool of people grows. Every 2 years or so, that pool of people doubles, at which point within a 5-year window, you have virtually every person on planet Earth is within a driving distance of a level 4 that could come to them and sort them out, because you'd be looking at 1,000 of them roughly, maybe. But the point, all of that, people would pursue it if there was an opportunity for them to earn a living and be a professional at doing this. And that's what it all comes back down to, is like, well, I want to do this and I want to be a professional. What do professionals do? Well, professionals pay their bills doing the thing.
That's right. So what, and what you articulated is absolutely something that is not, at a high level, we're talking about all of that. Just two things. We have enforcement and incentive. It needs to coexist, right? And so enforcement's really important. Is, hey, if you're an affiliate, we're gonna expect that an owner that this is your roadmap of education, and it's going to be a part of the process, right? We will help you shepherd that journey. Our expectation will be that, and if you don't have that, then there's going to be some sort of repercussion as per normal. But then also, how do we incentivize higher education to that point? And a lot of this comes down into opportunity, highlighting our best gyms, deploying those, like you said, those that have this expertise, because we have a huge network of gyms, and also making education more accessible is really important as well, right? Accessibility of our education is something that it's a hurdle right now. It's pretty rigid, and this is something we're spending some time on looking at, of how do we, we have our level 1, 2, 3, 4 in the online courses, but there's a lot of things specifically internationally as well that, how do we make some of these courses and access to some of these great trainers? How do we do that that is a little more accessible? Because we have a lot of people that need to level up from the level 1. And then what is the roadmap for an owner? What's the roadmap for a coach, right? I think these are things that our community would really benefit from, right? Think about if, the early adopters, of which you are, we kind of mapped our own way, and which is great, but that's not easy to do. And sometimes you're flying blind. It'd be really nice to, like, to your point, what's the roadmap? Like when you go to school, there's a roadmap to the diploma. And you know what? There's a master's, and then there's a PhD, right? Like there is some type of and because everyone's goals are different, right? Where, and for, just a bachelor's or a master's or a PhD is right, depending on your goals, depending on what you want to do. Doesn't mean you're a good or a bad person. It needs to align with your goals and what you want to achieve. So, and all of this, we believe in our hypothesis is that it starts with the affiliate, because affiliates need to be successful businesses in order to incentivize their coaches as well, right?
Correct.
And so it starts with the owners. That's why the owners need to lead from the front. The owners, we need to do a better job of providing business education, of which where you stepped in and seen that gap as well. Because as you get older in affiliates, like I want to know how to, coach someone and tell them to push your knees out, chest up, butt back, heels down. But also, understanding operations, your P&L, all of these things are very, very important. And you have to parallel path them. And if you're going to set up a roadmap for your coaches so they can be full-time, you can give them a pathway to making, for you to be making over $100,000 a year, and then your staff making 60, 70, 80,000 a year. All of this is possible, but it takes planning and work. And then it's how do you incentivize someone from a level 1 to a 2 to a 3 to a 4, and it be a part of that process. So that's a long-winded answer of saying that is our direction, and we're committed to that. But also with that means, our relationship with affiliates are going to become, I would say, less transactional, more mutual, right? In the sense of we want to be a part of your journey. We don't want to be one blip on the roadmap, which means we need to drive and deliver value to the affiliates in a greater way. And that's what we're spending our time on.
May I ask how it's going?
Yeah. So directionally, I think it's going really well. We're and the next step is we need to we're getting the data to start to prove it. As are you guys right now, which is really cool to see. I spoke with Marcus a little bit about it, and it's cool to see some of the that space. What's moving the needle and what's helping affiliates, right? Because here's the thing: we want to do what works. We need to prove that, right? So directionally, a small little piece is the starter kit. We're starting to see some pretty cool some that's moving the needle for new affiliates, really helping them out, open up, and start in a good way. Now we're starting to get some of the economics there, but at the very least, we're starting to see uptake of this in a way where we're starting to see them go through these modules, get business education before they open. As we all know, it's very basic but very important. Now we start to the map is going to be probably the biggest step to track traffic to you, right?
Got it.
And that's that's what we're spending our time on. One, it's not rocket science on how to make businesses better at a 10,000 foot view. And you guys, this is your business, right? Well, yeah, let's get you new members. Let's keep the ones you have, and how do we run a more efficient operation, right? How do we run an efficient business? And then you have new members and retention, right? When it's all said and done, those things move the needle, right? And there's a myriad of things that obviously that go to that, right? So you could unpack retention and talk through coaching quality and all of that stuff, right? So, and all of that needs to happen too. But at the highest level, we serve those things. That's what drives us. And what we want to make sure is that it's proven by, well, great, this is working. Let's double down on that, right? The whole let's shoot a bunch of bullets. What bullets hit the target, we turn to cannonballs.
Love it. I think, I've got many pet peeves, but in the Facebook group for affiliate owners, one of them is always like, what do I get for my, $3,000? And I'm like, you have no idea how affiliates and franchises work. And we're all dumber for seeing that question. But, the answer now is you're doing a lot, which is awesome. My second pet peeve question is often, or more a statement, somebody will be asking about CEUs and someone will inevitably say it's a money grab on HQ. I'm like, like you said earlier, every profession out there mandates continuing education. And if you think it's a money grab, you have no business being in this business, because it just shows to me you don't want to get better, and
those people, there's also strong correlation between those people and for many reasons, again, correlate, but strong correlates, like not running good businesses because they don't charge the right. Everybody has a discount. They barter with their coaches. It's all part of the same shit. And they're just like, oh, we should just get everything for free. And I'm like, yeah, how's that working out for you?
Or right? Cool, you have that option. You decided to start doing the CrossFit methodology and start coaching it. And now you're upset because you're not doing a good job. But it's easier to blame HQ than it is to take a look in the mirror and be like, what can I do better? So I just love that, HQ, like, I think you're a big part of it, Austin. Obviously Don came on board last year, and I've seen it, that change in the culture, in everything going on there. Obviously a lot of stuff happened in the last year, but I think all part of growth, right? Like, people also forget, like, even if you go back to February 10th, 2001, that's still 22 years ago. Like February 10th, 2001, the first workout posted on .com. It's like, we're still in its infancy here. Like, there's big companies look at, I don't follow the news, but Bud Light has had missteps in the last, couple of weeks. And it's like, they've been around hundreds of years making millions of dollars, right? And it's like,
I don't know about hundreds of years, but I get where you're going with this.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't drink beer or watch the news, so it probably wasn't the best analogy there. But point is, we're still learning and still growing, and I love the new. I mean, Don's going to be on the podcast. He's committed to being on when we're in Madison in a couple weeks. So, and by the way, we were the first to have him last year. But I'm excited.
I remember.
He's done a great job, man. I think in general, like, I'm pretty happy. Not pretty happy. I am happy with what he's done, and I'm excited to see the future, because no different than what Fern said earlier about, like, it's rarely an issue when gyms are close to each other. Like, same for us. Like the more people that get involved with CrossFit, the more people that realize I need a coach, I need a mentor. CrossFit affiliates are going to do better. The better CrossFit affiliates do as a whole. Going back to your question earlier, Austin, like it makes it easy for me to be like, just join the box that's closest to you, or just join the box that has the schedule that, you can make it, or the price point's best for you. Like, it doesn't become like now I got to dig in and research best box and, Ithaca, right? It's like, cool. I just know like every box is good. Go. So
that's right. And
that being said,
and that's our North Star, right? So like when you ask me like what's the vision for affiliates, well, it's two levels. One, that our affiliates are successful businesses, right? And I say that because we have a service to the affiliate owner, and then we have a service to the members. And for our affiliate owners is that we have successful businesses, and we can define what a successful business is, and of course we have, but there's a revenue aspect, there's a quality of life, there's all of those things matter. So all of our affiliates are successful from that perspective, and also that they're delivering an exceptional experience for the members. As the members walk in, they have an experience where it follows our tenets of safety, efficacy, and efficiency, as well as there's education, there's inspiration, and there's entertainment. And you walk into a gym and you have the opportunity to follow, and they are a conduit. Every affiliate is an exceptional conduit of the CrossFit methodology. And that is the North Star. And the only way to do that is for our gyms to be successful and to thrive and to last for a long time, and for it to be their ship to steer. And that's where we have to get to. And we have work to do, right? We have work to do to get there. You guys are a big part of that, as well as others in the ecosystem. And that's something and that's the relationship that we want to deliver, is that it's not a transactional relationship. This is, it's a business partnership, and we're in it together.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Austin, 4:20 comes early. We know you got to get to bed soon. So I will let you get to bed, but I do want to give a shout out. Seth Perry. I don't know if you saw that, Fern. Seth Perry, our first official member. Cody, you're still here? Shout out to this guy. Thanks, Seth. First YouTube member. I didn't know we had a membership to be.
It just started, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, congrats, Seth. You are the first of many. And like we kicked off earlier, we got a huge announcement. It'll be we are activating it. Is that the right term, Vern?
Sure.
At the games, you're heading out west next week to hang with Mr. Pat Barber to start chipping away at some of this.
I think he's just gonna have me babysit his sons. I think that's what I'm going there for.
He needs it. He's got 4. Austin, you got 1. We each have 2. I don't know how this dude is alive. First of all, he lost his hair. Your hair turned gray. He lost his. His just fell out. There was like 4 kids. It's not possible. Yeah. So it's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. But
I mean, I have 1, and I don't. That's all I got is 1. So you got more than 1, I'm out of the conversation.
It's tough. But I'm really looking forward to seeing you, Austin. Look, I'm going to throw this out there, Fern. If Jocko tells you, hey, we're waking up at 4:30 and we're heading to work out, you tell us. We'll be there.
Okay.
I'll be there. I do want him on the podcast, though. I'm going to shoot my shot right now.
First of all, let me tell you this. I'm going to choke him out, Austin. I'm going to choke Jocko out.
I would pay money. I'll pay.
Is that going to ruin the relationship?
Any amount of money.
I don't want to be responsible for ruining the relationship, but I will choke Jocko out if I have to.
I think that it would get a significant amount of views if that actually came to fruition, because
it's a good business.
He's a very large human being, and you're not, and he's skilled, and so are you. But
you know how.
Hey, Austin, you'll get a kick out of this. So I was up at the Big Fish fundraiser not too long ago, and Rex was there. He showed up there with his family, and he introduced me to his family. And like, oddly enough, they listened to the podcast because Rex listens to the podcast. And then they was talking to his kids, and they're like, "Yeah, we listened to you." And then we just they're like, "Jay just sounds small." So whenever I'm small. Whenever I'm feeling down about myself, I just remember I'm like, well, at least I don't sound small.
You don't sound small.
I don't sound small.
That's right. I mean, that's devastating. Yeah. I mean, it's okay.
I was devastated.
I mean, I think Jay, you and I are like the same size, but I don't think I've heard this. I do often get people in real life like, wow, you're smaller than I expected, which, I mean, I do get that. So I understand a little bit, Jason.
But you're like 5'6", like those 3 inches. It's a big 3 inches.
3 inches matters. I'm just gonna say
3 inches matters.
I'm 5'5" with low barometric pressure. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
And
All
the
right.
wingspan of a 7-foot man.
We're gonna let you run. I gotta run, man. That was awesome. I know from the chat, people are super excited about what you're talking about, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Awesome. Can't wait to see you.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the Best Hour of Their Day podcast. We appreciate you listening and choosing to have us help you in your passion for coaching and affiliate ownership. You can find more episodes just like this on all podcast platforms. If you're interested in learning more, you can reach out to us on any social media platforms, or you can visit www.besthouroftheirday.com to book a call. If you found this episode helpful for you, please share it so that we can help other coaches and affiliate owners to help build a bigger and stronger CrossFit community. Thanks for listening.